All right. So welcome to another episode of Beer Fish Fanatic. This is Granny with MaPop Fishing. And we have here
Fishing Kit with the Fishing Kit YouTube channel.
it only took
Clever.
you, yeah, pretty clever. It only took you a little bit to remember
I
that.
had to
So
think about it, even though it's my own thing.
and today, just so everybody knows, we actually got Zach Jones here from Deeply Driven Outdoors. So welcome, Mr. Zach. How are you doing today, sir?
Really good, man. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
No, thank you so much for actually giving us the opportunity. And I'm really glad to have you on here because I actually checked out a few of your episodes on your channel, and it's a lot of stuff that I never do or done. So it's going to teach me a lot of new stuff today. So which is kind of cool. That's kind of what I wanted to have this kind of start to do is actually learn as I meet people and everything. So so today, as you say, we always drink beer, as you know, obviously, in our Beer Fish Fanatics. No, part of the name and everything. But all right, Kit, I got to say this one right. So today I'm drinking Lagunitas.
Yeah, there you go.
I said it right, Lagunitas, and this thing is called Little Something Ale. Holy crap! I think I just butchered the crap out of that. It's Little Something, SUMPIN, something. So it's Little Something Ale. It's way smooth and silky IPA, man. Dude, I don't know, man. I don't come with this stuff. I just drink it. So that's what I'm drinking today, man. What do you got?
All right, I got one of my favorites, the Exile Zoltan IPA, Session IPA. It's a little more mild of an IPA for those non-IPA people.
Nice. And then how about you, Zach? What do you got drinking today, man?
So I'm going with a local. I'm living in Knoxville, and the brewery is out of Knoxville. Peachtree Brewing. It's a cold brew coffee stout.
Holy cow! Nice.
Yeah.
It's actually one of my favorite breweries.
Is it really?
It is because I'm a huge Peachtree. I love blonde. I think their Blonde Fatale is probably one of the best blondes in the nation. If anybody can prove me wrong on that, anybody listening or watching this, I'm serious. You find a better blonde ale for me to try out better than the Peachtree Blonde Fatale, I'll send them a freaking a MaPop face mask if it tastes better. All right. And the thing is, I'm going to have Fishing Kit try it with me just to confirm. But yeah, it's one of my favorite breweries. So
well, the Blonde Fatale is a little rough for me.
Yeah.
Ain't gonna lie.
I think it's on the skunky side for me. It's like I'm kind of shy away from the skunky beers, but I know a lot of people do really like it. If you like blondes, it's supposed to be a really, really good blonde.
Yeah, it's one of the better blondes. So, all right, cheers, buddies.
Oh,
cheers.
Cheers. All right, man. This is not as their other IPA, the Lagunitas, the other regular IPA one. It's not as hoppy. So I guess this is
not as hoppy.
Yeah, it's not as hoppy at all. It goes way smooth and silky IPA, so it's a little bit smoother. So anybody who's trying to, it does have a little bit of that aftertaste, though. Not gonna lie.
But I think if anyone's trying to get into the IPA, going with the Session IPA is like a way to ease yourself into it. It's not very bitter. It does have that IPA taste to it. But you ever had the Zoltan?
I haven't had the Zoltan. Usually I kind of shy away from IPAs too. I'm waiting to have an IPA though that I've found to be like really good. So I might have to give the Zoltan a try.
Yeah. I like Fishing Kit was saying, if you're looking to get into IPAs or looking to because it's one of those things like when you eat, some people can eat super spicy, some people can't, right? Mm-hmm. And when I say if you're looking to build up your tolerance to spiciness, the same thing with bitterness and hoppiness of beer. If you're looking to build that tolerance up to the IPA, definitely don't start with the double IPA. If you're gonna get into IPA, that'll literally make you never ever want to drink craft beer, especially IPAs ever again. But if you want to slowly get into it, I like he said, I highly recommend Session IPAs are always the tolerable hoppiness of beer wise. But it's, you know what, I love IPAs just because of the citrus hops. I mean, the smell, the fragrance of it. I really appreciate that when I was brewing beer. So that's why I got into it. And next thing you know, I'm telling you, your tolerance builds up. I mean, the hoppiness, right, yeah. Kit? Yeah, right, Kit? Because I think Fishing Kit, you weren't huge into IPA until you really started. It just grew, right, in a way.
Yeah, when I started drinking with you more, like you would bring like IPAs and stuff. Like, man, it tastes like you're drinking a pine cone. Like, right? why would anybody like this? And now here I am. That's my favorite kind of beer.
Yeah.
Pine
wait.
You
cone.
guys ever try like the ghost beers?
Yeah, I've actually
Like,
tried it. I tried one. I think one
I've
or two. Yeah,
I've
it's
not had too many of them, but I've tried a couple at the state fair, like at the craft beer tent, and I
yeah.
feel like that's kind of like the idea of an IPA without some of the hoppiness. You still get some of like the fruity, sour. Those ones are pretty good.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's an
too sour for me.
yeah, it's an acquired taste. At the end of the day, I think IPAs it gets a bad rap sometimes. 'Cause a lot of people think it's like super strong. It's just hoppiness. It's not the strength of the alcohol content. But
Right.
just like I said, just don't dive into the double IPA. Anybody, if you're looking to start drinking craft beer, just don't do that. Slowly, session IPAs are always the route to take to get yourself into the IPA world, the beer snob world, I guess you can say, right?
Indeed. I would say that coffee drinking got me into it because I'm more of a stouts and porters kind of guy.
Mm,
You know,
Yeah,
that's an easy bridge from coffee to stout.
agreed.
right.
Well,
Yeah,
yep.
it is.
Definitely agree with you on that because my wife's a huge stout, and I love it too, especially now with fall, winter's coming up. So
Definitely.
you're gonna start seeing me drinking more stouts, more porters here coming soon. So, not that I'm an alcoholic or anything, I just love beer, right, guys? So if anybody,
Hey, beer's good.
there you go. There.
It is.
So, I mean, let's jump into it. I know everybody's probably listening, like, okay, Zach, right? They go check
Yep.
out your YouTube channel. I actually, I did so because Fishing Kit told me like who we're gonna have because he actually, reached out to you and like, hey, Zach, it's gonna jump on, and I looked at some of your channel stuff, and then I actually subscribed to you a while back. And the cool thing was he did mention to me, okay, what's a diddy pole fishing? Okay. So a lot of people
Right.
don't know. So this is the crazy thing is like, I've never heard of it until I ran to your channel until Fishing Kit literally today. He texted me, hey, we can talk about diddy pole fishing. And I'm just like, okay, it rang a bell, but I really don't know. Can you explain a little bit, if you don't mind, what that is? It looks cool as heck, and just explain it for people who don't know.
Yeah. So if you've never heard of diddy poles or don't know anything about it, well, first of all, it's called a lot of different things. You may not have heard it called diddy pole, but like set line, bank pole. There's a lot of different things it's called. Basically, you're taking a piece of 3/4 inch PVC
Mhm.
and putting some like tarred braid on it. Usually, people vary on the weight there, but usually 180 to 320 pound tarred braid line, and then they put a big circle hook on it. They take the the boat down up and down the river, pound it in by a deep hole. Usually rig it up with a live bullhead, live bluegill. Some place it's you think you're gonna pull a flat head out of. Set the lines. You can run 5 of them per person in Iowa legally. So if you get 3 people in the boat or something like that, you're checking 15 lines, and then you come back a little bit later, you check them out, and just see what kind of fish you got hanging. We've got some pretty big ones doing that. I always say this at first. I definitely give more props to the guys that can catch the big ones on rod and reel because that takes more patience. But it's a good time. It's a different kind of good time when you run diddy poles for sure.
Yeah.
It seems to be like a good way if you want to catch a bunch of fish like over a night. It seems to be like a good way to do it.
Yeah, it is, and it could be a good way too if you want to like remember fishing holes like for rod and reel. Like you can fish 5 at once versus only 1 at one time. So you kind of know what holes produce well, and then if you want to come back rod and reel and test them out, it's not a bad way to find that out too.
Yeah, I didn't know that you can have 5 lines literally per person. So, holy cow, that's pretty interesting. And then now,
Yeah.
so in the diddy poles, when you where do you actually stick the actual PVC pipe? Because I seen on your your videos and everything, I seen you kind of put it on it's almost like a wall, right? Like a wall you can find anywhere. If there is no wall, where else could you stick the actual pole? I mean, where do you normally?
You could do it so like the wall you probably mean is like where like the bank drops right off into the water. Is that what you mean? Like where it's real sheer like that?
Yeah.
Usually we're looking for something where it's more sheer because theoretically it would mean that there's like deep water right below the surface too. But you could, even if there was like a sandbar, I guess you could use like longer line, or if you're fishing shallower, you could run longer line out into the shallows.
Mhm.
We haven't really, but for the most part, we're looking to just stick it in like really sheer bank. I've seen guys even go so far as to like screw them into a log jam You know, if there's like a stump sticking out of the water, like we've driven past a few like that. I could see a big one taking those off, but people do it. They catch fish doing that.
So I know it's mainly for like catfish, but I know you caught a buffalo. I remember that. Any other weird fish or like not fish you would typically catch on a diddy pole?
Yeah, the buffalo was the biggest surprise because we caught that on live bait. It was 32 pounds this last year.
Yeah,
But
thing was huge.
it was ridiculous. We've caught snapping turtles, a couple of sheephead, gar. A lot of times gar will bite it off, but we've put one or two in the boat with diddy poles. But I don't think we've really caught anything else fish wise like on a diddy pole.
I thought the buffalo was cool. I was like, oh my, yeah, it was huge too.
Yeah, I'd never seen one that big. It's 32 pounds.
Yeah,
big buffalo.
Yeah, man, 32 pounds. People gotta look that up. Big. That's a big buffalo. Holy,
it was huge.
Yeah, just really thinking about that. That's wow, that's pretty big, man. Oh yeah, all right. Okay, we gotta try this. I gotta try. I've never tried diddy pole fishing, but it's pretty interesting. I mean,
yeah. Zach's invited me out, so I mean, I guess if it's up to him, we could all get together sometime.
Yeah, okay. I'd gladly take you both out. I'm looking to get a new boat next year. So the boat that I'm running, if you've watched my videos, especially my boat always seems to break during my duck hunting videos, but my boat breaks a lot. We actually sunk it last year.
Oh yeah, I think I remember.
And then we got it. We wound up recovering it, but it's a little shaky breaky. So I'm hoping to have a new boat by next like open water season. Be a little bit bigger. I'm going to go like an 1860 with a little bit bigger motor, so I can take some more people with me diddy poling. But yeah, I'd like to have you guys out for sure.
Do you need a boat to diddy pole? I mean, I'm pretty sure it makes it a lot easier.
There's a guy that I follow on YouTube that does quite a few of them from the bank. Like he'll walk the bank and then pound the poles in and bait them. And he catches some decent fish doing that. But I think it makes it a lot easier. If you're just walking the bank, you're probably going to be restricted to just like kind of a few 100-yard segment, whereas we're going like, several miles usually up and down the river.
Yeah. That makes sense. Like you're just saying, because if you have 5 different spots that you're just saying 5 different poles or whatever that you can set up at so far away that you don't want to walk so many miles. I guess you can literally, that's pretty far, I guess. So that's probably why you use a boat. So that would make sense on that.
Yeah, but you can do it, just like walking the bank. I mean, like I said, there's guys that do it. When we started out, we started out running diddy poles out of an inflatable boat. It lasted like 2 months and we put like 3 holes in the thing.
Wow.
We have some stories from that boat. We started out just river fish. I had a buddy that got me into river fishing in general. I used to just do lakes and ponds, and river fishing was intimidating to me. And when we'd be sitting there like on the river bank, drinking beers, catfishing, have a little fire, and talk about running diddy poles, which I did once with my uncle when I was like 10 or 12. And then we were like, well, we should try and run diddy poles. None of us had a boat, we're all really poor back then. And I was like, I have this inflatable thing that I think we can get up to like the next bend around in the river, So we were like just doing a real short run and trying to paddle this thing with one oar. And then we caught a channel cat and its dorsal spine popped the boat in one spot.
Was this a kayak inflatable by chance? Because before I got into kayak fishing, I actually really, really looked into inflatable kayaks. And that was my biggest fear, like what you just said. If I hit something and there's a hole and I'm paddling, then all of a sudden it's, you know what I'm saying? In my mind, I just pictured like, all right, air's coming out, water's coming in, and it just, like you just said, inflatable. It's like deflatable on the water. That was my biggest fear. So that's why I never actually pulled the trigger on an inflatable kayak. So I just wondered, was it one of those? And
it was like a little, like, I don't know it's just like a little like 4-person like rowboat. It said it's rated for 4 people, but we barely fit 2 grown men in there. And it's like, there'd definitely be some downsides to the inflatable fishing craft, but like the kayak thing might be kind of nice especially if you're going like on a trip or something. You don't have a lot of room, might have an advantage,
and that's what I was thinking in my head. Like, I can just put that in the back of my van and pump up the air real quick and go. But then, like I said, it just kind of, my mind was just like, all right, knowing my clumsiness, and I would just hit something, and then there's a hole, and then I could see myself screaming at Fishing Kit if he's there. I got a hole.
I'd
Come
be
and
like,
say
Yep.
I'd be like, I didn't tell you to buy that shit.
exactly. That's exactly what he would say. He'd be like, dude, I told you, you dumb. Don't buy an inflatable kayak. I could just see him saying that. So that's why I'm like, all right, I'm not gonna go that route. It's
So,
Did
how'd
you
you
end
guys
up
get?
getting a kayak, or are you waiting to get one still?
oh, I got one. I mean, I actually I started kayak fishing actually before Fishing Kit did it because I went cheapo though. I bought one and then I kayak fished for a while and then I had kids and then I sold it and then this past year I decided to get back into it because Fishing Kit's got me back into it. He's like, just do it, ask for forgiveness later, which I did.
Right.
So now I actually we're gonna go this weekend. I think we're gonna go, right, Kit, this weekend.
Yeah, Clear Lake.
We're gonna go up
Oh,
north.
nice.
Yeah, we're gonna try going up there this weekend, and we'll see if how I do. I mean, I haven't had too much luck on the kayak this year, fishing wise. I've had fun on it, I just haven't had I haven't had the just catching. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of fish. So hopefully this might be my last trip out on the kayak. So we'll see how I do on that. So
You guys going after some Walters up there?
Yellow bass, walleyes. It'd be cool to catch a muskie.
Yeah.
anything that bites in my I don't catch that often, man. So anything that bites, man, I'll be happy, man. But he's
sure.
right. If we can catch him, hey, dude, if I catch a muskie, because that's still my unicorn. And it's so crazy because we have a lot of guests that come on here like, yeah, come up, man. We catch muskies all the time. I'm like, you mother, you know, because I've never caught one. So that's my unicorn. So, you know, in a sense. So what's your unicorn? What's a fish that right now, Zach? If you can catch a fish, a specific species right now, what would it be?
Ooh, man. It's a good question. I guess if I had the opportunity, I'd go and do a king salmon.
Oh,
Unless you mean within the bounds of what we have in Iowa.
No, just
wherever.
exactly,
Yeah.
because we like to ask that just to kind of see where people's minds, you know, are at in regards to species wise. But king salmon, man, that's
We went up to when I was a kid. We went up to Alaska and we took like a fishing charter on the Kenai River up there, and I had a king salmon on the line, but he got off. So I've just always kind of been like, man, it'd be kind of nice to go back and catch a king. So, and some of the fishing for me is like, it's not so much just about the fish, but like the experience required to catch the fish,
mm-hmm.
you know? So like it would require me to, well, it wouldn't require me to go to Alaska. I think you can find them closer, but I would go to Alaska, you know, catch a king.
Actually,
Make it about the trip.
Hey, is there king salmon up in the Lake Michigan, Kit? Do you know?
I want to say there is kings in like the Great Lakes.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. I wasn't sure if.
I know
There
it's
might
like
be.
salmon season up there right now too.
Yeah, that's because we just did a podcast with D Yang. He did say that, right? There was salmon season, but I wasn't sure if they had king salmon up there. I know it's that's
Let me see. I can look it up real quick.
For sure.
yeah. That'd be kind of cool to catch a king. I've never caught a salmon, obviously, but that would be kind of cool because I used to live in California, the Bay Area, and I've taken my father and all my uncles and cousins and stuff. We went deep sea. We chartered a boat and everything out there, and they caught. I didn't catch jack. I watched them reel it in, the salmon. It was freaking awesome, but I didn't catch anything. So it was like, but I went there to get a great buzz. so I caught something, I guess you could say. I didn't catch fish. I just watched. Counts. Yeah, I guess that counts, but I watch everybody else catch. But yeah, I think you're right. I think they might have king salmon up there in Michigan lakes up there. That'd be kind of cool though.
They got a few salmon species in the Great Lakes. I don't know what species exactly. I think coho, chinook.
Chinook is king. If they got Chinooks, then they.
Oh, okay.
King the same thing.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I haven't looked. I guess I should probably.
I mean, it ain't too far. 7 hours away.
Right.
You know, it's doable. It's it's possible weekend trip.
Yeah. Now this is making me want to go on a fishing trip.
All right. So I also I wanted to ask you about like trot lines. So like, what's the difference between that and your usual diddy pole or whatever?
Okay. All right. So trot line is. I'm trying to think how to describe this without like using like hand motion and video.
Yeah.
I'm used to video describing it. So you would you have a long main line, Our main line's like 150 feet. We're newer to setting trot line, but look at the long main line. It's like 150 feet. Also, it's like braided twine. Then you attach that to a bank. Usually you're looking for slack water, still water, something where the whole thing is not going to like be blowing around in the current, get all messed up. On the other end of that main line, you've got a weight, which we were using an old car rotor, but that weighed too much. Like once that gets suctioned down into the mud, pulling that thing up is a big chore. So I got some other weights for that we're going to use next year. And then so you've got one side on the bank, and then one side of that main line is all the way out into like the middle of the river and weighed down. And then attached to that weight, I've got a little bit of a float. So like it's that way I can float the main line like a foot and a half off the bottom. Mm-hmm. So we set that, and then we go back. We have like drops. So they're maybe a foot of line with hooks on them. We'll put 15 drops down the main line, down that 150 feet of main line with whatever kind of bait we used. We tried shrimp and different kinds of, full fish bait, dead bait, live bait, cut bait, all different kinds of species. And then same kind of thing. So when we leave those baits sit, come back, check them, 6 hours later or 10 hours later, whatever,
How many trot lines can we have in Iowa?
So if you're running trot line, you can pretty much, this is where it gets tricky. So fishermen make the determination between diddy pull and trot line.
Right.
The way the regulation reads in the DNR, from their actual handbook, it says that they really don't make a distinction between set line, bank line, diddy pull, trot line. They kind of mold all those together. So you can have 5 total sets with no more than 15 total hooks. So if you ran 15 hooks on a trot, you can only run 1 set.
Okay.
Something we've done is we'll do 4 diddy pulls with 1 hook a piece, and then just run an 11 drop trot. So then we've got 5 sets, 15 hooks.
Interesting. Yeah, I didn't know about that one.
Man, my mind's blown right now. I'm like, really? I mean, it makes sense, but holy, yeah, okay. That's because we're gonna have I think in the next week or so, we're gonna have a DNR research guy on here, so I'm gonna ask him that too. I just want to make sure to confirm the hooks and before I go out and decide to do something like. Whoops.
Yeah, definitely. A quick way to ruin a timeout is to get caught by a DNR making some mistakes on the rules.
Yeah, sure. I think, and that's the worst, is the one where you don't do it on purpose too. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're gonna have those out there who try to skirt the lines of the law, I guess you can say. But then when you literally had no idea, which you probably should find out before you actually do, right? That would probably I'm gonna find. Man, that's really cool. No, what you said, I mean, it makes sense, but that's interesting.
That'll be an interesting podcast. I'm looking forward to hearing that. I've been curious about flathead conservation. Ooh. So we throw a lot of fish back, like when we catch, because we'll catch a lot, but we throw a lot back. And I've been curious to ask, like, if I could pick a DNR like biologist's brain for like 10 minutes, I'd have a lot of questions about like flathead biology. Like what's the right size to throw back versus like what's a good threshold to keep? Like what are their like at what size do they lay the most eggs, and should we not be keeping them? That kind of thing.
Yeah, right. There's a petition going around it for Iowa right now too.
I was seeing you share that to make the regulations separate for flatheads.
Yeah, like only 1 fish over 30, and I forgot what some of the other regulations were, but
definitely. No, you're definitely right, Zach. What I'll do is we'll send you, or I have Fishing Kit send you questionnaires for that, because you're right. I'm curious too. Like we can just estimate or just guess like, that's a good size to release back, or not 100% sure or whatever. But I'm pretty sure somebody who does that for a living and who actually went to school to research, all that, will have a good answer for us. So remind me on that one, Kit, when we interview the DNR guy, to definitely ask him about the flathead thing, because I think now you're right though. That's the biggest thing, because right now, I guess, I never really even thought about that. No. What I was gonna say, I'm sorry, was when we were speaking with Spencer from River Certified, and I never knew how big of a I guess you can say a big of a thing it is with flatheads here in Iowa, that the larger, like he was telling us, like the 50 to 60, 70 pound, whatever large, flatheads, those are literally once in a generation of, you'll never see another fish that size again in your whole lifetime. And that's what he was trying to explain to us, and of why he releases, and those larger ones, is because those suckers take a whole lifetime to get to that size. It's not like we were talking about earlier, like a wiper or a big crappie. It doesn't take 5-10 years. Those flatheads, literally, like he was saying, takes 40 to 50 years to get to that specific size.
Yeah, and it's a lot. It's a lot of time to, that fish, invest into getting that size. Like, it's nice to be able to release them and let them get even bigger for other people to catch. But it's also, I don't know if it's like good genetics. Like, you want those genetics to be passed on, and a lot of egg laying.
That's a good question. That's what I wanted to know too. Is it genetics? Like the fish, so the bigger fish, they should be able to breed bigger fish, right?
Right. Yeah, I think so.
That's normal thinking, you would think, right? Because DNA, normally that big fish would be able to pass on that genes to the next round of fish that they produce. Should be bigger, right? I don't know. Am I right?
I think so,
Yeah,
but I don't know.
It was able to one, avoid being taken by a fisherman, and then just not dying from natural causes.
Yeah. On my, I don't know if it makes any sense biologically or not. Like, on my boat, we have a 20-pound threshold for flats. Like, we throw a lot more back than that, but if it's over 20 pounds or 20 pounds or over, it automatically goes back in the water. But a lot of times we'll throw back more than that too. And if it's a channel, if it's 10 or over, it automatically goes back. I don't know if it makes any sense or if that's just arbitrary, but it's just kind of our way to not keep everything that we catch.
Yeah.
Sort of conserve the resource a bit.
I don't think you're doing any harm by throwing them back a 10-pound channel or a 20-pound flathead.
No.
Yeah.
No, probably not. And we catch so many that are 4, 5, 6 pounds that for anything we want to have a fish fry for, we'll get our catfish meat for sure.
Yeah, I wish I had that issue. I don't have that issue, man. I don't think I've caught. It's very rare that I catch anything double digits. I think there's a reason why too. But like I said, ever since Kit here, Fishing Kit always tells me, you don't have to keep everything you catch, man. It's true, and selective harvest, right, Kit?
Yep, selective harvest.
There you go.
Yep.
Man, I'm not out here trying to tell people they can't keep fish, but just throw the big ones back. That's all I ask.
Right. Yep. The big ones are don't have to limit every time, that kind of thing. Yeah.
A 10+ pound channel cat in Iowa seems to be a rare fish. You don't hear about a lot of those being caught.
We've only caught, even on Diddy Pole, we've only caught a handful over double digits. We had one actually over Memorial Day that was 12 3/4. And that was probably the second biggest channel that we'd ever boated. And it's a rare fish. 10 pound. If you get over 10 pounds for a channel, that's a tank here.
Yeah.
Why is that? Do you think it's just because of pressure or what?
It could be the pressure. It could be. I wish I knew. I wish I had a better answer. It could be resource. They may not have better forage elsewhere or longer growing season somewhere.
Yeah. Oh, it could be a lot of things. Who knows, really?
Because we have plenty of channels here in Iowa. I mean, there's lots. I mean, in all the lakes, there's plenty of channels. There's not an issue of catching them, but the issue is like you were saying, is catching the double-digit channels. That's very rare. I'm just wondering, is it because there's just too many of them, or like you're just saying, the forage is just not to get them to that size? Or I don't know. I'm just wondering. That's a good thing to ask the DNR guy too, I guess, right?
I know. I'm looking forward to that episode. That's going to be a good one.
Yeah. We're gonna have to.
Why don't we grow monster channel cats?
Yeah,
right.
It's true.
Every state around us, they got big channels.
Yeah, and we have it though. The thing is, not that we don't have that you never catch channels. We catch them. It's just like you were just saying, just the size. Why are they not in the double digits? I'd be pretty fun,
Yeah.
I'm still trying to hit my master angler channel in Iowa.
What's the
it's 30.
for that?
It's 30, right?
30 inches.
30 inches.
Yeah.
Well, we caught one in Kansas. We went. Well, I mean, it was my nephew and fishing kit here. They went to Kansas and they caught a 33 incher. So that was a master angler down there, and it would have been the same thing in Iowa. So that was the biggest channel I've ever.
Yeah, biggest channel I've ever seen.
Yeah, I was listening to that episode. I saw Kit's pictures on Facebook of it. I think it was humongous. Did you register it for Master Angler down there?
No, we didn't. We just, I thought it was a blue cat, so I was like, all right, we gotta let this thing go. Because at the lake, they're trying to establish a like a breeding population of blue cats at that lake.
Oh, sure.
So the minimum is 36. So I was like, oh, it kind of looks like a blue. I'm not sure. So, but if you're not sure, you shouldn't keep a fish. So just let it go.
Right.
Yeah, we were talking to each other. We're looking at each other like we weren't sure at all. I mean, you couldn't tell. You literally couldn't. It looked like a blue, but yeah, then it was just like
it was also kind of dark too.
Yeah, and like, it was just. And we're all excited, but you know what? At the end of the day, we're like, "What the hell are you gonna keep it for anyway?" It was so big, you know what I'm saying? It's just like, and the thing was, what Kit was just saying, like we had plenty of fish that week because we caught a lot of white bass already. It's like, I mean, what's the difference if we caught a 30, you know, kept a 33-inch catfish? It made no sense. I mean, in our opinion, but that was pretty cool. I really think it was a channel, but it was pretty damn cool.
Now that I look back on it, I'm pretty sure it was a channel.
Yeah.
Then I've asked the experts at Catfish College, and they all chimed in. They all said channel cats.
I thought you were gonna say I asked the expert. Just go to Facebook.
Well, it was Facebook, but it was a catfish group.
There you go. When in doubt, just take a picture, post it on Facebook. You'll see the experts chime in instantly what it is or what it you know how that goes.
Oh yeah, they'll come right out of the woodwork.
Yeah, but like I said, if you're not sure about a species, you shouldn't keep it. I do see that on Facebook, like, oh, they take it home, like, oh, I don't know what this is. What is it? Like, you probably shouldn't have kept it. Like, what if it was like an endangered species, or you don't have the right size? You're kind of just asking for a fine.
Yeah, and those people, true. And they took it home because they're taking a picture in their driveway. Because if they're holding a fish and they're in the driveway, like. Anybody know what this is? I'm like, if you don't even know it, you kept it. What the, you know what I'm saying? It's just like one of those things. Like, that's probably not the smartest thing to do, but they kept it already. But it's true. Know your species, I guess, or at least try.
All right, Zach. So you do like a lot of hunting on your YouTube channel.
Yeah, try.
And it's like what? It's duck season again.
Yep. It's duck season. It's early. Like it's this weekend has been early opener for South Zone, which is anything south of Highway 30. Been out doing a little bit of duck hunting, not successfully, which I'm not very good. I'm the first one to tell you I'm not very good at hunting. I just do it because I like to do it.
Yeah.
And when it does pan out, it's a lot of fun.
So do you do all sorts of hunting, like deer, turkey, duck?
Yep. I'm yet to be successful turkey hunting, but I got really close last year. I do deer hunting. Like muzzleloader every year. That's a lot of fun. I like doing that. And then waterfowl. Waterfowl is my main.
That's your favorite. That's your favorite.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. It's kind of a social hunt. It's a little different than other kinds of hunting because like with deer, like you're worrying about like your scent control and all this stuff and being real quiet and sitting real still. And like with duck hunting, you can sit there and like there's times we'll take out breakfast in the marsh and like cook it with like propane cookers. And like we would sit there having a conversation. You can be, like with deer hunting, they say you shouldn't be drinking coffee in the blind and stuff because the deer will smell it. But like, it doesn't matter with duck hunting, as long as if there's ducks flying around, obviously you get down and be quiet. But yeah, it's a social hunt. And that's what I like about duck hunting.
Quick question. When is turkey season by chance? Like
we've got a fall season going on. I think the fall season is going on right now.
Okay.
But there's spring turkey, which is usually like early April through mid-May. Okay. And it's kind of split up into 4 seasons.
Okay. Well, I mean, I don't hunt because my wife doesn't allow. Okay. That's for a different podcast, a different situation anyways. But anyways, I'm not allowed to hunt at the moment. And I was just wondering because turkeys are, primarily ready for November, obviously for Thanksgiving and everything, right? That's when people are thinking in their minds. So then that's why me and my wife were talking about like, but why are you hunting so early in the year when we're actually gonna, you know what I'm saying? In a way, it kind of stinks because then you don't eat it until Thanksgiving in a way, right? I guess the season.
Yeah.
It's just weird
And-
that way. I don't know.
And there is a fall season, so like a lot of people don't do it. It's not as near as popular as the spring season, but you can do a fall turkey season. I can get a tags for it. I've never done it, but I know that it exists. But spring turkey is more popular as it's the breeding season. So like the male turkeys are more responsive to calling, and like that's where kind of the fun comes in. You get all camoed up and hide from them and stuff, and then try and call them in. And it's a lot of fun when they're gobbling back at you, and then you get closer and you see them strutting by your decoy, and it's like, man, it's a good time.
Are we gonna hunt this year, kid? Are we gonna hunt like in the next year or two? Are you down to try something new? We can call this BFFH.
See,
I don't know, man.
I've always had an interest, but man, I just want to go fish all the time. It's fishing kit. Come on.
True.
Could be hunting kit.
Could be hunting kit. Exactly.
It could be.
Could be fishing and hunting kit. Man, that'd be
hunting's only for a few weeks out of the year. So
that's
true. That's my problem with fall fishing. Is like I know fall fishing is one of the best times to be out, but then it's like, man, I gotta hunt while it's hunting season. So I don't get out and do as much fall fishing as I need to.
Are you gonna ice fish this year, Zach?
I don't have any ice fishing gear.
It's okay.
But I've considered like it would be fun. I've always said if somebody's got a good walleye spot, if I don't have to sit there and pull up little dink bluegill, but like good walleye or big crappie through the ice, I'm down.
Catfish.
Right.
That's where it's at.
So this is the thing. I'm holding because I haven't caught a big catfish through the ice, and then I go see my friend here, Fishing Kit's video, reeling all these freaking catfish through the ice. So he's got to take me this year. But no, you're right. If you don't worry about the gear and stuff,
we got all that stuff.
Got all that stuff. You don't even have to worry about anything. Honestly, if you come with us, you don't have to worry about anything at all.
Just warm clothes. That's all you got. That's all you got to worry about.
That's all you got to worry about. Warm clothes, and just come with us. We have all the gear necessary. You'll be in for a surprise when it comes to ice fishing because you're gonna be addicted. I literally tell everybody this. If you love fishing, if you never ice fish and then you go ice fishing with us or how we ice fish, I guarantee it. Once you catch the first couple of fish, you get a weird itch. Right now, I think it was at October, November. You get this weird itch that all of a sudden you go to YouTube and look up fishing kit.
Sure.
or any other or any other fishing channels. Then you start looking at these ice fishing stuff and like, and you get that it's called the ice itch. I guess that's what they call it. I don't know, man.
Years ago I tried it out. Like I was just sitting on a bucket, like no ice shack, sitting on a bucket. Like it was January, like minus 10 degrees with the wind blowing on me. And I caught bluegill like barely the size of my hand. And I'm like, this just isn't worth it. But then lately, like as I look into it, I'm like, man, there's a lot of people having a good time out there in these like heated ice shacks, just drinking beer on the ice and catching fish. And it's like, I don't do anything else in February. So sure.
Yeah. So this is the thing. If you go ice fishing with me, you might not catch a lot of fish like Fishing Kit does, but you'll definitely have a good time. You will be in a shack and you might be warm. And you have good food and good drinks.
You'll catch something.
But if you go with Fishing Kit, he'll show you how to. No, this is the truth though. We did a podcast. You have to be on the move in a way. You just gotta have the right clothing, but you got to be on the move. When ice fishing is, it's just a little bit weird that way. You have to go. You just got to keep mobile. I know it sucks when it's like 20 below or 0 degrees, but this day and age, they have the gear that you can buy. I mean, it literally is super warm. You just put your back to the wind and you're good to go. Honestly, I'm just lazy sometimes, and I just want to, like you just said, put a shack up and just sit there and drink a beer or two.
Sometimes the elements do make it really tough. But if I'm gonna set up in like a certain spot, I'll try to set up in a spot that would maximize my odds of catching fish. Somewhere where you would think a fish would move through.
How do you look for a spot ice fishing? Like how's that different than open water?
I wouldn't say it's all that much different, really.
Yeah.
But the only thing is, you're more limited with your mobility. Like bank fishing, for example, like at least if you're at a spot you can cast, like 50 different angles But with ice fishing, you got to pick a spot. If you want to fish 50 different angles or whatever, that means you're drilling 50 different holes around. Just look at your maps and like because the DNR's got like structure maps where they drop
Yeah.
brush piles, all this stuff. I look at a lot of that stuff. Then there's your contour maps. Try looking at I don't know, good fishy spots like drop offs, not break offs,
Mm-hmm.
drop offs, humps, whatever, all that stuff. And then usually in the ice, typically fish are a little bit deeper. So I mean, with the exception of like Clear Lake, I fish in like 2-3 feet of water up there, but most of the lakes, I try to find like if it's like 20 feet deep, I'm probably fishing in that deeper 10 to 20 feet.
But like Fishing Kid said, I mean, this day and age with the technology, okay, so let's just say you look at the map, you know where the brush pile's at, or wherever their structure, right, or rock piles or whatever that DNR has set. So you go over there and you literally can drop your flasher down the hole. You drill one hole and you literally right on top. You can see the structure with once you drill it, right, and then with your flasher and everything, you can tell there's fish there or not. I mean, you can literally see. So then you just move, and that's, I mean, to me, like Fishing Kid was saying, when you're when you're fishing open water wise, you can cast right, left, straight, wherever the case is. You can move 100 feet this way, fish right, left, straight again. Ice fishing, you literally just fish right below you. You can't cast. There's no casting, right? But the benefit is you have that flasher, that sonar, fish finder. You can know if you're just standing or sitting right at that spot and you see no movement, all you see is a tree. You see a structure in a tree. You fish there for like 10, 15, 20 minutes. I mean, you're not going to stay there any much longer if you see no movement. You know what I'm saying? So
right.
I think that's the allure to me, is because you still have to search. People's like, oh, that's cheating. It's cheating because cheating fishing. But technically it's not, because you still
got to catch the fish.
You got to catch a fish, and you still have to find them, because just because it's water right here doesn't mean there's fish right underneath me, man. I still have to go and find a fish. And but the cool thing about, like I said, is like, it's really cool though, because I mean, if you love video game, okay, this is the thing. I'll tell anybody this: you love video games, you're gonna love ice fishing. I kid you not, because with today's technology, and you can get it for cheap nowadays, flashers and everything. You come with us. We have extra flashers, so you don't have to worry about that. But flasher nowadays, that you can get them for good deals, like really cheap. And like I said, it's so cool. It's so cool to see your lure go down. You see it go down on your flasher or whatever you're using in your fish finder, and then you see the fish come up and then hit it. Oh man, I don't know, man. It's just one of those things. It's so euphoric in a way when I see my lure and then all of a sudden the fish just hit it, and then your pole bends and you're reeling it in, and it could be a small ass fish and you still freaking super excited. I don't know. I'm super excited. I don't know.
I don't get excited. Sorry, Zach. Go ahead, Zach.
No, I can kind of see how that'd be like playing a video game. Like, you're watching your lure and enticing the fish, and you watch the fish go up and take it on the screen, and then boom, there it is.
Yeah. But I was gonna say, I don't get excited about the little fish anymore, because I guess I'm seasoned. So I just try to catch the big fish through the ice now.
Don't listen to him, man. Every fish is exciting to me. So, it's just one of those things where I see those other guys who catch, their YouTube channels, they catch small fish, they get super excited. That's me, because it's real. I don't catch fish that often, so it's like exciting to me, man. But
all right. Yeah, we'll add ice fishing to your repertoire.
That'd be nice. I still need to get in. I don't think I've ever really caught like keeper walleye in Iowa, and I've thought about like trying that through the ice, like just getting a few walleye to eat. The catfishing through the ice would be interesting too.
Yeah, walleye's a little tricky. Catfish are pretty tricky too. I just started learning how to catch catfish through the ice. I guess they'll really come to a test this season. I can't say, I learned how to catch catfish, and then the season goes through, I don't catch a damn catfish. Like, I guess I didn't learn anything.
But you know what? No, last year you had a great year, I think, through the ice for catfish wise, because I'm telling you, man, I'm just like, I'm super jealous. I'm not gonna lie, man. I see him catch those cats through the ice. I'm like, super. I want to. And if you haven't, what's the biggest walleye you've caught here in Iowa?
Oh, in Iowa, I mean, I'm throwing them back at Big Creek. So under sub 15, I think for Iowa. I don't think I've ever really caught one that
Really?
home in Iowa. Yeah.
All right, you're going with us for ice season, Kit. Well, you got to get him something a little bit bigger than that.
I mean, that's the thing. Even if I could just get like a few 17s, 18s, just
All
something, just something to take home and throw in the pan. Because I love eating walleye, but I don't ever catch them big enough to eat.
We could work something out there. I mean, this lake I go to has catfish and walleyes that I kind of get into consistently.
Yeah, sure. We'll definitely get you on that.
Actually, my biggest catfish in Iowa this year was through the ice. It was
really
29 inches, I think.
Damn.
Almost a master angler through a 7-inch hole, man. It was
that'd
fun.
be something. You get a master angler through the ice on cats.
Ooh.
Yeah.
What's your bait situation like when you're ice fishing cats? Is it the same thing? Like you're still using, cut bait and live bait and stuff, or is it you downsizing?
For me, it was I think I caught one on like minnows. Like I think I had like I chunked up a couple minnows and then I stuck a live minnow on there. But usually fresh cut stuff. Like I would catch some bluegills. Like, all right, this is gonna be catfish bait. Cut them up, and like we were fishing them aggressive. Like normally people say, just fish slow for catfish through the ice. I found it to be more successful. Like just ripping it, just like going like this. Causing all that action. Just draw them in, and then once you see that big red blob on your flasher, then you slow down. But even then, I'm like lifting it away. I'm making them come up to it. So like when catfish, they're kind of weird. Like most fish, like here's your jig or whatever. They're coming in horizontal to the bait, but the catfish they're coming like this vertically from the bottom. So like on the graph, so it looks like they're three. Your blob is like 3 feet long. You can't mistake a catfish like on the graph because it's just huge. You just know it.
So this is the deal. We're gonna take Zach ice fishing, and he's gonna take us diddy pole fishing.
I'm down. Sounds like a plan.
No. Is there an end season or anything for diddy pole?
Not really. I mean, you could still do it now. One of fall fishing for diddy poles has been good when we've done it before.
That's what I was at. Yeah.
Much, but yeah, I mean, as long as the water is open, I guess you could do it.
All right, that's the deal. We're doing that, Kit. We do diddy pole, and we're gonna take Zach ice fishing. We got to trade off on that.
I think, like I said, I'd like to get my new boat, and then by next open water season, take you guys out.
Game.
That way, I got a little more room. It'd be a nicer boat. It won't break down, and then we'll be sitting there going, "What the hell did this guy take us out here?" And broken boat on the river.
And
we're stranded.
As long as you have beer, I don't think we're gonna complain. As long as we have fishing poles and a beer, because just in case, we'll be okay. We'll figure it out. Don't worry about that.
Right. Indeed.
But yeah, well, we'll definitely take you fishing and everything because ice fishing wise, because I think Deeply Driven is gonna need that a little ice fishing madness on your channel because
I know the channel's kind of a jack of all trades and I don't really have any ice fishing on there, so
it's awesome. No, I love it. I love your channel. I think we gotta get some ice fishing in there for you, and then you're gonna like I said, I'm sorry to say this you're gonna be addicted, bro. You're gonna go ice fishing. You're gonna be like, all right, I'm gonna start buying this. I need to get this. I need to get this. Next thing you know, like Fishing Kit here, I got him to ice fishing. Next thing you know, you become a professional ice fisherman, and then he just.
Well, I don't know about pro.
He flew. It's one of those that I just saw him just fly away, and he just became like great.
Sure. Thanks. I'm blushing. This isn't the beer.
Oh, that's funny, dude. So. I mean, is there any species right now? What are you going to target now? Because it's almost fall. Is there any specific fish that you're going to target right now, Zach, fishing wise or anything?
If I could get on, like I said, so unfortunately now this time of year I'm splitting some time with hunting, so I don't get out fishing as much as I normally do. But if I could get on a fall walleye bite at some point before ice locks up, I'd be just fine with that. So mostly on my channel, like a lot of people see me, doing the diddy poles and the catfishing and stuff like that. But my second favorite type of fishing is walleye fishing. So if I can get out on a fall walleye bite, that'd be all right.
Since the river's low, could walk the bank.
I know. Yeah. I need to have a day and do that. I might do that.
Follow this guy right here. This guy that I'm pointing to right here.
I'll go down there. Like we, just go down the river. Yep. Just try to find those deep pools. I mean, it's something I just started recently getting into. But yeah, I'd give it a shot.
There you
It's a
go.
good year to do it.
Oh yeah, the water's super low. Like you basically,
Yeah.
I mean, if you had waders, you could probably walk from one side of the river to the other side.
Do you think that's
And
gonna
I
affect
do have
anything?
waders.
How low the water is? Do you think that's gonna affect fall fishing, Kit or Zach? I don't know. I'm just curious because I get to limited time to go fishing wise. So with the low waters, because obviously rain has been very limited. Is it gonna affect fall? Whether it's walleye, any type of bites, any type of fishing? Do you guys think it's gonna affect like bad? I guess you can say.
It's a good question.
I guess it depends how dry it gets. If it gets like drier than what it is, if there's no water, obviously there can't be fish.
Well, yeah.
But if it just stays, consistently low, it'd probably make for better fishing if you can find the fish. If you can find those deep pools that are, because all the fish they gotta, they're trying to find that deeper water. If you can find like that pool with like I don't know 10 walleyes hanging out in it, then that's lights out right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. They got to go somewhere. Yeah, like you said, I think if you can find the deep pools, then there's not a lot of places for fish to be in the river right now. Yeah.
That's okay. So just go find the school. So easy.
Deep pools.
Deep pools. So easy. So
not every pool is gonna hold fish, so you just gotta look.
Hey, we've been talking for a little bit, almost an hour, man. So you got anything else for Zach, Kit? I know you had some more things for Zach because I'm just excited. I'm just excited to go try Diddy pole fishing, man. I'm not gonna lie, man. I'm super excited about that.
It's a good time. It's more like a social time on the boat. So like you're just out there on the boat and drinking beer and catching fish, and it's a little easier than rod and reel. You don't have to do as much strategy, but you're catching fish and having a good time.
True.
Oh. So what do you say to those people that are like, it's not real fishing because it's not rod and reel? Because I know there's haters out there.
They're like 75% wrong.
Oh, see, okay, yeah.
I guess I always give more credit. Like if you catch a 40-pound flathead on rod and reel and a 40-pound flathead on a diddy pole, like the guy with rod and reel did more work. He had to sit there longer, but you still have to find the right holes, and it still takes a lot of time to go out and like find the big fish. You still have to know what they're eating. You still have to go and catch a ton of bait. Like the diddy pulling is all about your bait catching game because you go through so much bait. So you still have to catch a lot of bait. You still have to know where they're at, what they want to eat, that kind of thing. But I mean, they're not 100% wrong. Even I'll admit that.
So when you say you go through a lot of bait, why or how?
We always try and keep live bait on, right? Because flatheads generally go for live bait. Versus channel cats, they'll take dead stuff. And with 5 poles a person, and we got 3-4 guys in the boat, and it's 15 to 20 poles, and then we check them. We might do 4 checks in a weekend. So then you're going through like 80 bait fish. You got to go and find quite a few every time you go out. So we've got like a whole bait tank system. Like I've got a video of that up on my channel and everything. Whole bait tank system.
Well, that makes sense now. Yeah,
not every bait equals a fish, and then when that bait's dead, you kind of got to replace them too.
Right. A lot of times we get cleaned hooks. Gar will take them off, or maybe a fish will just be hooked by like the skin of its lip or whatever. So a lot of times we pull up to clean sets, or if the bait's dead, then we'll replace it. So we go through quite a bit of bait in a weekend.
That makes sense now. No, because I was just wondering, like, how do you go through that much bait? But then when you add the numbers up, the amount of people was with you, the amount of, like you just said, poles you set out, amount of times you check it. That's a lot of live bait, man. You at the end of the day, you forget about that. It's like, okay, you do need quite a bit. So, makes a lot of sense. All right, I'm in, man. You sold me, man. I gotta go. We gotta go try this kit. I'm texting the boss right now. I'm going diddy pole fishing, bro.
Yeah, I mean, I'm down for like spending a whole weekend camping out there, all that stuff.
Okay,
it's a good time.
I don't know if I can quite do that. I can meet you guys during the day unless I can take the kids. That's the only thing. It's gonna be hard for me to spend.
It's kind of a nighttime thing, though, isn't it, Zach?
Well,
you can kind of check it at your. So legally, you have to check the lines every 24 hours. We like to check them more than that, but legally, you have to do every 24 hours. So you could kind of pick and choose if you want to run it at night and if you want to run it during the day or the morning or whatever. Like a lot of times we'll go and pound poles on a Friday and we'll kind of be like, okay, well, we pounded them Friday evening and then we'll do like a Friday midnight and a Saturday morning run. And then we mix it up. Yeah. When we check them, late night runs are like you're missing out on sleep, but usually they can be productive. You're making sure your hooks are
Hey,
baited.
we're fishermen, man. What's sleep?
I know.
It's the honest truth, man. You don't even worry about sleep when it comes to fishing. All you can dream about is that pole bending at the end of the day.
Best time to sleep is the best time to fish.
It's true. The honest truth right there, man. So other than that, man, I don't have anything else. You know what? Like I said, thank you so much, Zach, just to join us and have a beer or two with us. Hopefully, I don't know if did you run out of beer? Because I'm about to go get another refill. I don't know about you, but
I've got a half left.
What?
I need a refill.
Yeah, you gotta drink up a little bit more. But like I said, man, when you take us Diddy boat fishing and when we take you ice fishing, we're gonna finish more than just a beer or two. So FYI.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
But anyways, man, like I said, thank you so much for just joining us. I truly appreciate it because I don't know anything about Diddy boat fishing, about leaving. Dude, you taught me a lot about just leaving the trot lines and everything. That's, to me, it's like I'm absorbing, and I absorb all the time with you, with all our guests, and with Kit and with you. So, like I said, man, at the end of the day, thank you so much for just joining us. And I'm pretty sure somebody's gonna listen to this and be like, "Damn, really?" They're gonna start trying right now. Diddy pole fishing. They're gonna go Google it. And they're gonna Google it and YouTube it right now. And then we're gonna be like, dude, all you need to do is just check out this guy's YouTube channel.
Yeah, look up Zach's channel.
Exactly.
You want to talk about your podcast? For
yeah.
those that don't, Zach has his own podcast. Do you want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah. So I've got a podcast with me and Colton Bradley from Chasing Iowa Outdoors. He does a lot of waterfowl videos and stuff like that around here.
Mm-hmm.
We started it in January. We've done a handful of episodes. Since we started the podcast, he's moved twice and gotten married, and I've moved once to the country. So we've not had a lot of time to do anything consistent, but we need to kind of pick it back up. But yeah, it's kind of an all-purpose podcast. We talked a lot about turkey hunting when we start, in the spring, and then some about fishing and diddy poles and stuff like that. And then we need to get on and do some waterfowl episodes, and we'd have you guys onto the podcast as well once we get things rolling again too. It'd be kind of nice. We need to have more guests on. It's one of the tough things about having a podcast is you gotta have guests on it.
Let us know.
Well, there's always Zoom.
Exactly.
Yeah,
we can always do this, and we love to talk. At least I love to talk a lot. I mean, I absorb and talk a lot, but you know what? I love hanging out with Fishing Kid because I learn a lot from the guy. So if you need, honestly, if you really want to learn about fishing and techniques and what you should do, this is the guy to go to in a sense. So, but yeah, hit us up, man. And you know what? I'll put the link to your guys' podcast and everything on the show notes and everything, so everybody can check that out. I'll put your YouTube channel and everything, so everybody can check that out. Whoever's listening, whoever's watching. But like I said, man, just keep pumping out your content. I like it. I think in your sense, you're unique. So keep it that way, man. It's cool as hell in my eyes, and I'm learning. I see. Hey, like I said, I'm going to have to go tell the wife right now. She's going to ask me, what the hell is Diddy pole fishing? And I'm going to have to explain it. And it's going to be awesome because I'm going to go do it with you. All right.
All right. Sounds good. Hey, I appreciate you guys having me on the podcast. It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's fun.
Thanks, Zach.
All right,
yeah,
Zach.
no problem.